Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Mindshift. I'm Sean Michael. I'm excited to have you here. I apologize for starting a little late. My co host won't be able to join us, or she might show up late. But I'm excited to cover this topic today how the shadow of your strength, right? That was my title this week. So I welcome all comments, and I will probably open it up earlier than usual. Hello, Pinker. Welcome. Glad to have you. Get my notes running here. Hope everybody's having a great week. Brenda Lees, welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm a little off my game today. I wasn't well prepared. It's been a little crazy. We've been having a lot of earthquakes, over 400 earthquakes over the last week, as high as 6 points. Michael, welcome. Thank you for joining. All right. So, our topic, as I said today, is the shadow of your strength. So, to open up, I want to talk about how often our strength developed because of it was a survival strategy. We didn't just become resilient, driven, or helpful. We actually had to get through different situations in our life. Trogdor, welcome. On audio, okay, that she's actually commented before. So this trait, your trait of resilience or being driven or helpful, it's forged in our responses to chaos, to rejection, to that early pressure to perform. But how many times has this protection, this trait that we've developed, this strength, actually bound us, become somewhat like a prison? Derek, welcome. What I want to get at is we don't need to be more strong. Amalia, thank you for joining. We don't need to be less strong. We want to be more whole. We want to integrate everything about us, right? Take the strengths, integrate them into our whole being. We're not strong in everything. We have strengths, and a lot of as I said before, those were developed to get through the challenges of life. Joni, welcome. So when does strength become this trap, this prison? It does that when we make it part of our identity. We stop choosing. We're not choosing to act from our strength. We're holding on to it. We're clinging to it. Instead of being a tool, it's our armor. It's a protective armor. And this armor can actually block. Eliana, welcome. Hola, buenos lunes. Our armor, yes, it protects us, but it can also block connection with others. It can block our growth, and it can hide our truth. How many times have we felt perhaps that Al, welcome. Glad to have you. Got a good turnout today. Love seeing all these people coming in. But how many times have others applauded your strength, but inside, behind that persona that we're showing the world, are we actually feeling exhausted trying to keep this image up? Mark, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Right? People recognize us for our strengths. Oh, you handled that so beautifully. And sometimes because it's been we've put it up as a barrier for protection. Our strength is protecting us. But deep inside, we're feeling disconnected. We're exhausted. Lisa, thank you. We don't know how to continue. We want to let our guard down. There's a lot of power in letting our guard down and letting all of us show, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly of being. It's part of the process of integrating, right? We are whole people. We're not just our strengths. We're not just our talents. There's a lot of other parts. There's things that we're not very good at. Me, myself, I'm terrible at sports. I don't like watching them. I'm not very interested in playing them. And early in my life, I had developed this fixed mindset that I was good at certain things. And so I would pursue those and feel good and get applauded and recognized, and it felt good. But the things that I wasn't so good at, I was just like, let me stay away from that because I'm terrible at it. And as Pinker says, sometimes we try to let down our guard, and those around us, our partner or our friends, might tease us. So it makes, we kind of what's the word? I'm losing the word. Like we pull back. We're like, okay, I'm not going to show that because nobody wants to be teased. So how do we integrate it? My own experience is to have trusted people that I can be myself with and learn, and really being okay with, this is who I am. And I love myself. I accept myself, and realizing that I'm not for everybody all the time. Some people are going to love me. Some people are going to, that's the one I was looking for, retreat, Al. Retreat, shell up like the turtle, right? Pull their head in their shell. And, it's not arrogance, but it's like just breaking free. Like I can feel freedom because I love myself and I know I have something to offer to benefit others. And if they don't like me, they don't like me. No big deal. Now, some of that learning came from some really rough experiences where I was afraid. But I think that's part of what taught me to just I recently learned in my human design that I have a dual definition. I have the hermit, where I retreat and I evaluate and I can process, and then I can come out and share it. So, in order to do that, I schedule time on my day every day to connect with myself, to evaluate myself, to make sure that I'm getting better, and I avoid comparisonitis. I don't want to catch that because there's always someone who's better at something than you, right? You see a if you're doing business online and you see somebody on business and you're like, wow, look, they're so successful. But I've also learned that what we see on social media and other things, I am a 2-4, Brenda Lee's. Absolutely. Yeah, I've been really looking at my human design deeper. But yes, I'm a 2-4 generator. So I'm not a I'm the kind of person who I need emotional clarity before I move, before I make decisions, even if it's super, super exciting. Um, I'm all about my strategy is respond. I'm not an initiator. Joni, a 2-4 means you have some natural genius. You're not usually aware of your own talents. And you hide, and you retreat to process and cultivate your magic. The 4 is the opportunist, right? Where you thrive. So, like, you need time alone to clarify, to understand. And then the 4 is, but you need people, you need to interact. You have relationships, you build network, and you look for opportunities instead of like a random flyer on the community bulletin board. Yeah, and alpha man, as it's being discussed, alpha male energy can be toxic. I think of myself more. I'm not interested in alpha or beta. I like the idea of the sigma male. So what I've learned in my journey is sometimes the thing that we're proud of is also what we hide behind, that strength. You know, by being the capable one, it blocks me from receiving, right? That I talked about this at our recent post. Actually, it publishes tomorrow about in my work. I was like, yeah, let me get in there and do it. I can do it. Like, let me do it. Let me do it. But instead of receiving help or receiving gifts, it's like, oh, I'm capable. I got it. I don't need help. Or being a selfless person, then if all you're doing is being selfless, you're not really known. Being the focused one can block you from surrendering. There's power in surrendering to certain things. So, has your best trait become your best excuse? So I have a question for everybody. I'm going to put it in the chat. And then because I don't have a co-host, I'm going to share the link to join the stage because I'd love to hear from anybody who's willing to join. So the question is, what trait have you been praised for your whole life? Worst delegator ever. Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, I list myself as a recovering perfectionist as well. All right. So the question is, what trait have you been praised for your whole life that now traps you? You know, I saw an experience where the capable one, yeah, pick me, I'll do it. We were volunteering. My wife and I were volunteering for our local church. Whatever they called for, they're like, "Hey, we need to separate clothes so we can give to the homeless. We need volunteers for this. And we were like, "Okay, we'll be there. And we thought we were doing a good thing. But we were getting burned out because nobody else would show up. And the pastor actually says, "Oh, you guys are great because we know you'll always be there. We know you can count on it. We can count on you." And it sounds good, right? Like, "Oh, you can be counted on." But it became a trap because everybody else is like, Sean will go. Don't worry about it. We don't have to go. Sean and the pastor got it, and his wife, they're good. They got it. We don't need to go. And an even deeper question, and this is in my latest post on Substack, is what identity are you terrified to release? Even it's served you for a time, but it doesn't fit your current journey. All right. These are always challenging. End up doing everything, and people, right? Oh, he's the reliable one. Just call him. He'll help. My friends they all knew. Call Sean. You're moving? Call Sean. He'll bring his truck and help you move. So that's one thing I learned was when people ask for things to take a pause, because my old habit, my strength that I had developed as a protection mechanism was always saying yes. So I learned to, when someone asks, "Hey, can you come and help me move?" or can you do this? I take a pause and I go, "Okay, let me think about this. Is this really something I'm willing to do?" And I know there's a lag. I see Joni did her test. Oh, I didn't hit the post. Okay, so the link is there. If you're willing, I'd love to have you come up and join me. As I said, my co-host is occupied. She's busy today, so she told me she might be late. And Joni or anybody else who's doing the human design test, there's actually a GPT, if you use ChatGPT at all, that is very, like, you can actually give it your human design and it will give you an explanation. It will help you understand it. Let's see. There, I've given the link for the GPT. And I think the GPT, as I said, if you use ChatGPT, it actually in the GPT, you can get the link for the human design test. It's really illuminated a lot for me, understanding my human design, kind of, because a lot of things that all the gurus and all the experts were teaching, I'm like, it just didn't feel right for me. I'm like, why doesn't it feel right? Like, it works for them. Why not for me? By understanding my human design, I really started to go, oh, okay, now I see how this, why that's conflicted for me. All right. Did the link go through? I see it. Did everybody else see it? I love the interaction. Do you guys have questions about strengths becoming our trap, our prison, or about? Perfect. Thank you, Brenda Lees, for sharing that. There are a lot of them. Ah, let me do that, Pinker. So I forgot. It's I love Restream, but at the same time, it doesn't go to YouTube or the Restream. All right, so there's the GPT, and I'm gonna go grab. No, I don't want that. There's Brenda Lee's link. I don't know how else to get it. It won't let me copy it. I'll repost that link, Joni, for the stare. Zarar, welcome. All right, there's the studio link. If anybody else wants to join, 1-4. Derek, I'm wondering too. Are you a generator? Are you a projector? What's your type? Because there's multiple levels to this. There's your you can be a generator, a projector, I don't know all the other ones. There's your emotional, your environment, your strategy, your authority, your incarnation cross. But this can really help you organize your life. So a 1-4 generator. Let's see if I can find it. 1-4 generator. Trogdor, it's like it's calculated by your birth date, your time of birth, your all the details about your birth. Where were you born? And it generates based on that. Um, who do we got? Is this Joni? I bet it's Joni. Yep, it's Joni. Hey, Jojo.
Guys,
I hope you don't mind me calling that. Like, I remember you had that for a while.
no,
It's
if that's people call me Jojo.
Joe, Joni, Jojo.
Oh
I
yeah,
always, I
I
always
I
sneak.
go went by Jojo with like good friends. And I definitely like Jojo too. So
Yeah. If you're like me, I respond to most of it, most of the variations of my name. So tell me more. Tell me about, is there a strength or trait that you noticed that you've been praised for your whole life, but at some point became a trap?
for me, yeah. Sorry, like I've always been a bit of a risk taker. And so it's led me into, really good situations because I'm just not afraid to do anything. It's always been my personality since I've been little. Um, but then also some not great situations. So the risk taking part of me is definitely there. And you know what? As I've gotten older and gone through different experiences, I've learned to keep my close circle pretty close. But I am so interested in the human experience, and I have so much just love of other cultures and people. So I still want to, be connected to, a lot of different people, but I feel a little bit more insular as I get older in my like outside social life besides this. So.
Yeah, I can appreciate that and resonate with that because yeah, as I've gone through different stages of life, I've been a little more curation in who's within the middle or the center circle because I'm
Yeah.
very much about connecting and talking to people from different cultures, different backgrounds, etc. But I also have learned that you boundaries are a good thing. There can be boundaries, but boundaries are not walls, right? They're just like, okay, I can let this group into this circle, but the inner circle or the innermost circle is reserved for specific, we'll say vetted people.
Yes. I mean, I find so much solace. I feel like I've talked to a lot of you guys about how I love my dogs so much and like just like being around animals and being in nature. Like that's something that's really wonderful and calming to me. So when I feel overwhelmed, I definitely do that. But I do really enjoy having a diverse group of friends to, just expand my horizons. I'm constantly curious, at this age, and I want to, check things off my bucket list essentially, and that's sort of the risk taker in me. I'm like, okay, like I might go skydiving. I really need to do it, but that's not for everyone, of course. But I also use self-depreciating humor to
Uh,
mask
you
some
mean
of stuff.
self-deprecating?
Deprecating, yes, depreciating. It was self-deprecating. Oh my gosh. Yes, I use self-deprecating humor to mask some of the
Yes.
real
All
underneath
right.
hurt that I
So I'm going to welcome Brenda Lees. I've got Brenda Lees and Ileana and Zarar actually in studio. So let's welcome Brenda Lees first. Give her a chance. Whoops. My mouse,
I'll mute.
if I can get her back.
Okay.
Sorry, Brett. Like my mouse is like, I'm clicking once, but it's double clicking. I need
It's
to upgrade.
okay. I think I just needed to laugh, and that's what the universe gave me, an opportunity to laugh.
Laughing is good.
Oh my goodness. Um, Sean, it's great to be here. It's the first time I'm in your room.
Yes. We bump into each other everywhere else.
Yes, I
But
know, I know, I know. That's cool. Um, I you the question you are asking was which one?
what's a trait you've been praised for your whole life that has become that you've recognized as a trap?
Having a great heart and a giver, being a giver. Like, oh my God, she's the like because it creating a momentum that people will only come to me for advice and like guidance. And because I have such a good heart, everything was expected to be free. And I think that that was okay when I was in my corporate world, right? In a way, partially, because still now looking back in the corporate world, I that would then mean I would be giving a lot of tasks and projects other people could not do because Brenda can, and Brenda is a giver, and then I ended up burning out easily, or not doing the things I needed to do for myself and focus on the things people were coming and asking me. However, in the entrepreneurial journey, I think it has reflected differently, and it's because now people were coming to me more for free. And
Yeah.
I think this is something that all entrepreneurs go through. There's a sweet balance between giving and receiving, and if you're always in the giving energy, then you're unbalancing the receiving, right? And then it creates friction, it creates dissatisfaction, it creates turmoil. And I think it's important to maintain that balance. And it came with a lot of respecting myself and the work I do, because a VP in an organization would not work for free in that organization, right? So why
Right.
would I work for free in my organization? And then changing the mindset that and I have an organization and I am the leader of that organization. And that as an entrepreneur, I still have responsibilities and I need to pay the bills, right?
Right.
Then it started to shift things significantly. But it's something I need to be constantly aware, because
Right.
my nature is to nurture and help others, but asking myself the question: Am I helping others, and how's my energy exchange? Because
Right.
it doesn't
Am I
mean always.
neglecting myself in the process of helping others?
Exactly. And it doesn't mean always there's a money exchange, but money is energy, right? It's an energetic exchange in somehow. I can help others, and then and they help me. I can help others and guide others, but there's a balance. And I think that's the part that is about respecting ourselves and valuing the work we do, knowing. And it's taken me a long time to accept and know that I'm a kick-ass coach, and I deliver amazing transformations. And I'm not saying this here to promote myself. No, I'm saying it because I truly believe the work I do,
Right. It's
and that
owning
makes
your
a difference.
value, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's owning your
Yes.
work, it's owning your value, it's owning you.
It's owning
Right.
me, and owning that it's taking me a lot of work to get to where I am, a lot of knowledge building, a lot of experience. And yeah, that experience has a value.
Yeah. All
Hmm.
right. I thank you for that, Brindley's, because
That's
it's great
interesting.
points. I was I've been in the same boat where it's give, give, give. My wife used to get on me all the time because someone said, "Oh, can you?" do this thing on my website. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I can do that in my sleep. Like it's 5 minutes, $10. She's like, stop undercharging. She's
At
like,
least you were
how much
charging, Sean.
how
At
much
least you
time,
were
how much
charging.
time and energy have you spent to learn this? It reminds me of, I just saw this recently. If you've ever heard of Picasso's horse,
Hmm.
Picasso was apparently in a cafe or something, and the guy saw him and recognized him, and he's like, hey, can you draw me something real quick and I'll pay you? So Picasso grabs a napkin and a pencil and he sketches up this horse real quick, and he goes to hand it to the guy, and he says $100,000, and the guy's like, what? You That's on a napkin and it took you 5 minutes. And Picasso stood his ground. He's like, yeah, but think of all the time that I spent developing my talent, the energy I put into it. It's value. I'm not giving it away for free or
That's a
undervalue.
Yeah,
beautiful
I
story.
saw it at the MoMA, Sean.
Say it again, Joni.
So I saw one of his horses at the MoMA, which is one of my favorite museums. I love Picasso. I think he was fascinating. But yes, modern art.
Yes.
So,
All right.
Brenda Lee's, I'm so curious about your story. You're in corporate. I'm curious about how you switched careers as well, because I do so many things. I'm like a hustler. I'm hustling. And I pick up strays left and right, and it's so hard for me to say no. Like someone's like, can I drop my kid off, like, for a couple hours? I'm like, sure, no problem. Like, my car broke down. Can I borrow your car? Yes, no problem. And it kind of does, um, it affects me, like, just because I don't ask for anything. It's like, I can't ask for anything. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything. But because it's something inside me, it won't let me. But I'm curious how about your path. Like, how did you go from corporate to what you're doing now?
Sean, I don't want to hijack your conversation, so I don't know if I
Well,
should answer
I
this
was,
now,
yeah.
or if
If you
I
can
because
give
I
the
can connect
short
with you.
version, yeah,
Okay.
or connect, yeah, because I'm actually getting alerts from Restream, like people are trying to join, but the room is full because I've got a
Okay.
line.
Yeah. I want to be respectful of your space, and at the same time, I'll just say it in a very quick sentence. I worked 24 years in the corporate space, and it took for me reaching and touching rock bottom before realizing that that wasn't the space for me anymore, and accepting that I was okay moving forward. It took a lot of courage. It took a lot of inner work. And I will tell you, it's 100% possible. So if you want to connect with me, I know we have tried connecting before, we can connect. It's no problem. And I can share a little bit more about my story.
That's
All
wonderful.
right.
Thank you. I will. I absolutely will. And to calm, what's the news, bro? What's the news? I like it that he speaks in Swahili on
All right.
this.
I'm going to
Let
leave to
me
make space, Sean, to others.
Okay, thank you for your share, Brenda Lees, and thank you for your willingness to come on stage.
Okay,
But I
take
know
care.
I know you're not shy about coming up. So,
I'll see you on Thursday.
all right,
Bye.
see you Thursday. All right, let me welcome Iliana.
Hey, Sean and Joe.
Hello. So,
Hello. It's Monday. It's lunes, right? We're rocking and
yes.
rolling. Love the conversation. Thanks for having me up here. Were you gonna say something?
Yes, I have to ask because I've seen your post. I actually commented on your family rescue mission because
Yes.
you were,
Woo!
a hop, skip, and a jump away from me over there in El Salvador. But the way you write your name, Iliana, because like I'm like, you're from El Salvador, isn't it Iliana?
It is. If you're pronouncing it in Salvadoria in El Salvador, it would be Iliana. but I've been raised in born USA. So the pronunciation is kind of something that I've had to grow up with. And I kind of
Mhm.
came up so the teachers would be able to pronounce my name because I got tired of them chopping up my name. So I
Totally
am,
understand.
yeah. So I became Ileana, and that's the way I hear it. You can call me Anna. You can call me just about anything as long as it sounds like me. I'm going to respond at this point of life.
All right. So talking about our strengths as a question that I've posed before, what's that trait that you've always been recognized for but has become a trap at times?
I think it's multitasking. As a woman in general, we're super multitaskers. No fault to you, Sean. There's statistics and studies out there, and sometimes when you get a career path and you go, you exceed expectations. And I always found myself kind of mastering all of my jobs, all the responsibilities, learn the ins and outs of it, the logistics, and then I got bored, and then I would move on. And then you, like you hear everywhere else in stories, you get burnt out, you hit rock bottom, and you kind of have to learn your journey. And for me, it's been the power to say no and not to just have to say yes all the time. I'm self-funded. I've been self-branded now for 11 years. So there's a point of time where you just have to be you and be comfortable with who you are, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly is what I like to say.
Yeah, exactly. It is about, as Brenda Lees was talking about, it's about awareness, it's about understanding all the parts of us, right? And that's what I was getting at the beginning, was like, it's about, we can have our strengths and we can use our strengths, but let's not, let's practice awareness so that they don't become a trap.
Right, and it's just a balance. Sometimes people grow in their titles and kind of forget, oh my goodness, this is who I was back when I first started. And it sometimes becomes a teeter totter. And when you find that balance, I'm not saying everything becomes unicorns and butterflies, because that's not the real world we're in. And if someone's in that world, please let me know your secret power. I would like some of
Exactly.
it. But it's no one's perfect. We got platforms like this today. I'm kind of in a little vacation mode. Like you mentioned in the beginning, I did have to take a Mission Impossible trip to go get my mom, who's 80 years old, who I thought had just fallen, and come to be she had lost her cookies, literally mentally, and come to find out I had to transport her here back on an emergent flight from El Salvador to Northwest Arkansas. And they found 2 fractures in her back, and she has full blown dementia. And she's a sassy one, and can kind of get spiteful. So there's been a lot of changes, I think, in general. And if you can, just deal with the cars that are in front of you daily and let them go at the end of the day. I think that's the only reason why I'm sane. I guess whatever sane is. I always tell people I'm a little crazy. I think we all are, right?
Hmm. I agree.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing.
And so if we learn how to just deal with the situations in front of us, some of us are good to let go when we're done dealing with them. But if we got to reflect, is what I call it, daily, hourly, weekly, just let it go. Because if you carry all of the battles and challenges and the wins every day on your shoulders, that gets tiring. It's just simple as that. You got to slow it down and take the moment for whatever it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
And Sean,
Take
and I'm gonna get off your stage and give room for someone else to come on.
Or Ileana, it's not bad and ugly. Those are two negative terms. So you be like the good, the empathy, the sexy. I don't know. It's just like
I'm a
rephrase.
Clint Eastwood fan. So if you're a Clint Eastwood fan, it's one of his good movies, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I love Clint
Yeah,
Eastwood
yeah,
too.
that's
I visited his
yeah,
farm in
that's
Northern
where that
California.
tagline comes from. All
Yep.
right.
But do you know what, honey? My dad is going through dementia too, and he was so smart. He's so freaking smart, and he's like repeating himself, but he remembers old things, not new things. And it's heartbreaking, honestly. He's 82, or 80 as well. And I feel for you. I really do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through that. No one tells us about our parents like losing their
Right. No one
marbles.
tells us we all of a sudden have to flip that script. And I've always heard it. One day you'll flip script with your parents. You'll become the caregiver of your parents. And I just never thought that I would land it so quickly. I mean, I've been through this with my in laws already. So I kind of have some experience. But I'm telling you, this journey just continues to give me those dealing cards. And I'm playing the best that I can. And sometimes you just got to slow down, right? So if I leave with nothing else, just remember to slow down and reflect and make sure you're doing something that you truly enjoy doing every day, meaning from the time you open your eyes to the time you go to sleep, if that's your passion. Because if not, you're going to find yourself burning out, being fake, meeting people you shouldn't
Right.
be
It's
meeting.
about alignment,
It
right?
is.
Burnout is not about the hours put in. It's about doing things that are not aligned. And I just want to add, not, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather dealing with the last 10 years of his life recurring strokes. And I remember like he would get his mental capacity back and then the stroke would take him back down. And I remember having conversations and it made no sense. But I enjoyed every moment I could with him. And I remember he was trying to talk about, oh, well, your dad passed. And so, this is what I want you to have this because you're the oldest son of my oldest. And I'm like, Grandpa, I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to enjoy this time right now with you because that's what I have. But, although it's difficult to deal with a loved one who can't remember who you are sometimes, and my wife worked with Alzheimer's and dementia patients, and she shared like some of her patients would switch. They were 16 again, waiting for some boy to come meet them, and like for them, that was their world. They're literally their whole world changed, which is a challenge. But I consider it a blessing. I lost my parents 20 something years ago. They never even lived to retirement. So,
Oh.
I look at it like like you said, Eliana, do what you love, be who you are everywhere you go, from the moment you wake out of bed to the moment you go to sleep. Love every moment, enjoy it, and let go of stuff because it's not helping you. Good point.
Yeah. And I'll make one more point and then I'll stop. But I've been an Al-Anon for many years because I two of my best friends were serious alcoholics, and one of the things they teach there is that even if they are alcoholics, like you still can enjoy them. They're still them, they're still fun. And, even though they're going through recovery or may, I don't know, misstep, like one of the biggest gifts you can give someone is just really appreciating them for, who they are, what they bring to the table. And I would assume that's very similar in dementia. Like just have fun, like, just have a laugh. It's like those moments are going to disappear. And it's a wonderful thing if you can get over the hurt that, whatever disease is causing them to not be
Right.
great.
Because as you said, it's the disease, it's not them. My mother-in-law is going through this, and my wife recently flew to visit, and she was very concerned because she's always had this certain amount of friction with her mom. And she's like, and now my mom's like angry and she's dealing with dementia. because it affects them too, because imagine you're losing your memories and you're losing your memories. That's going to make you a little irritated. So I had actually sent her with a meditation to help her find her, because I didn't go with them, because she's used to, like, I was her anchor. When the stress level goes up, she's like, okay, I just need to go for a walk with my husband. She's like, you're not going to be there, what am I going to do? So I said, here, take me with you in your phone. When you feel stressed, when you need to let go, take this meditation and release it, because it is not your mother. It is this disease that is horrible. Anyway, I want to give space. I've got Zarar in the queue here, so let's welcome Zarar.
Hey, Sean, thank you for.
Welcome to the stage, Zarar.
Thank you so much, Sean, um, um, for having me here and giving me some space. To It's like a SOAR and SWOT analysis of your own self. Like, what are you good at, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
what becomes, and same traits become challenge for you later, right? Because you're very good at it, but somehow, uh, I'm getting older day by day. Like, it's not about like because as a servant leader, I always help people around me, but especially with the ones you are very close. Okay, you I may at times like to make them understand.
Yes. You still there, Zarar? We might have lost connection with.
Are you okay? I think it's
Yeah, I
internet.
think it is too.
My internet stinks too.
All right. Let me go ahead and let Al up on stage. He's been waiting patiently too. Hey, Al.
Hi, Sean. It's almost 1 o'clock in the
Thank you for.
morning for me. Tuesday morning
Yeah,
for
I
me.
was. That's why I was like, I got to get him
Um,
up here, because I know it's late for Al over there on the other side of the
no
world.
worries. I'm in Malaysia anyway. For those who do not know where I am, yeah, it's very interesting. The
So,
conversation that you're bringing through, because the trait that you've been praised for the whole life, it can also turn to be a negative one. So this is something very interesting, because sometimes we think that this is a positive vibe for us, but eventually it turns out to be a drawback. Like something a setback for us. All that.
right. Yeah, it can start to work
So
against us.
yeah, true. That's right.
So
So
what would you
sometimes
say, what is one trait you would say that has been a strength, or you've been recognized for by the TV?
I used to be very agitated, when people don't get things done in my way, because I'm a perfectionist. So sometimes if the thing don't go right, then I start. I mean, the people who are under me, I mean, who are higher and all that, so they get on my nerves and all that. So sometimes I get agitated with them and all that. So eventually, over the
Yeah.
years passed, and my wisdom grew, So I cannot be so, so tough, on other people, because they just leave me, and I'll be a loner, like what the one of the people in the stage, I mean, and the audience are saying the sigma, the sigma male. So so sometimes I work as a
Mm-hmm.
loner in my own business. Yeah. So even though you're successful, sometimes you lose all the friends around and all that. So when the
Right.
perfectionism gets in our way, So in that way, then we, I mean, of course, I'm also a risk taker like Joe. So sometimes I will jump out the plane and do a tandem skydiving and all that. So I have no comms on that. So, but basically, sometimes that risk taking also backlash to me. So even though it's a good adventurous type, I mean, not just skydiving. Sometimes like making business decision making, which are
Mm-hmm.
very important and involves a lot of capital upfront and all that. So
Right.
sometimes I think back, it's also, yeah, very, I have to be very careful and prudent in my way of making decisions. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, like, one of my flaws being a perfectionist is I would just, like, I learned young. Hey, Mark, take care. Thank you for stopping by. I learned when I was young, wrongly, to bury emotions. Like, it's partly my personality, my human design, my zodiac is Libra, so I like things to be calm and peaceful and don't like to make waves. So I turned that into, like, don't get angry. Like, just bury your anger. And that was bad because instead of getting agitated when people weren't doing the job right, I would just force my way in. Let me do it. Get out of the way. And a lot of times I would just do it instead of getting some help or giving it to somebody else. I know somebody, I'm looking back through the comments, I know somebody had shared that delegation was something that they had a lot of challenge with because, especially in
Mm-hmm.
leadership. Yeah, Sharon shared worst delegator ever. We're afraid to delegate because, like, they just can't do it as good as me, right? Especially if we're somewhat of a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right, Zarar is back.
So sorry, in my chart that you give the chat GPT, is showing
Hmm.
that I'm a projector, no? So it's
Okay.
different to what the normal design that I key in, which is a manifesting generator type. So I'm surprised why the chat GPT is giving the wrong answer. The one that
Yeah.
you gave in
Well,
the link.
it's there are so many tests that run, and I haven't vetted them all. I used the chat GPT to kind of help me
Mm-hmm.
understand. I gave it all my data, and then and I had previously done it with another site, so I know what I've done, both the standard human design and the quantum. I'm actually follow the creator of the quantum human design because she actually, I think Brenda Lees was talking about it. She studied human design with the original creator, and she integrated
Mm-hmm.
quantum physics and spirituality and all these other things to go deeper with it. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yep.
It's not. I've found, like, I'm learning more about it all the time, and I know I still have more to learn. But Zarar, you're back. What were you saying before
Yeah.
you got cut off?
Now you have to tell me like where did I cut off? But anyway, Sean, it was like um, now as I'm getting older, right? Okay, ChatGPT is there. I can prompt there and get know more about myself. But I preferably like if I know that Sean is there, Jojo is there, Brand Lee's, I prefer like telling about myself or whatever the challenges I'm going through. I prefer like telling every little information. Uh, like you, Sean. You're basically the ones who have been through this already, right? And sharing my
Yes.
information with them, every little thing, so that they can evaluate me better, and they can tell me, they can advise me on those little things which I have to improve in my life. uh, it's not about income anymore. Like I know I'm a servant leader. I take an extra mile to help go out and help people, and but somewhere I may lose my own ID, and that's somewhere because they may belong from a different part of the world, and I'm from this part of the world, and and when you go an extra mile, you may lose your own ID sometimes, and this is what I was saying. Like if one on one hand you have lots of wealth, for example, and if now you're going to give all your wealth to someone who's going to sacrifice, who sacrificed his own ID, his own worth, his own respect, his own self worth, everything. Um, Even then, it is too less. Even if you give out your whole wealth for them, right? Because they were there for you in the hard times, in the good times, all the time with you, uplifting you. So, but then these people are very precious because they were there and they were present in the present and they're still present, but now the priorities, right? Because life is also going on their side and they're also like moving ahead, and the love we had for them will always be there. But again, now the priorities, what is more important in life, because like Brandelis was saying, you were saying, and everybody else, like you have to pay bills and this and that and this and that, entrepreneurship, and but it's not about anymore about income. What I learned so far, it's about integrity. Like as I'm getting older, it's not about like to have a title. Yes, I do want a title, but now I want to speak more truth, um,
Exactly.
without and to rise without losing without losing what is real. It's something like maybe like a sign of maturity.
I agree. It's like that's kind of who I am is anybody who's been watching Mindshift or listens to the podcasts, all of my messages are calling out the standard statements. It's truth telling. I'm all about truth telling. Let's be real, let's be truth. Let's get back to wholeness, as you said, of who we're meant to be. Um, through, as you said, interacting with mentors or our seniors, the community leaders, using all the resources possible to, as well as self-awareness, look in the mirror. Right, what do you see, and then what do others see, and pay attention and make adjustments. you know those strengths, as I said, we're not about killing the strengths serve us. We've developed them. There's a reason for them. And I believe every person in our life, I've followed this mantra for a long time. They're in my life for a reason or a season. Right? Everybody that's come into my life, there's a purpose. They've come to my life to teach me something or for me to pass something to them. I don't know at the time. Or they're just there for this time frame. And that's really helped me like take in what I can, where I can, and to be more open to the wisdom of others. To me, that wisdom, one of my biggest teachers is my 7-year-old son. I'll be honest. Like I learned so much watching,
Wow.
My 9-year-old is mine.
Wow. Congratulations to you both.
right?
I've got nephew. I've got nephew and two nieces. They are like my.
Yeah, the youngsters can teach us a lot if we just open ourselves to learn from it.
Just like, Mom, come on and play street hockey with me. Or like he's still cool in his class, but he still holds my hand and he blows me kisses like when I drop him off at school behind him before the other boys could see. I mean, like the joy at that he has a mom who loves him is is so wonderful to me. So when you were saying that, just people who have dementia or, whatever, like that feeling where you can't understand where the upsetness or madness comes from, that is so exhausting. So I really appreciate that you say, just like try a smidge as a grown up to live in that little moment and be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to put this work down. I'm going to go play street
Right.
hockey with
Be
my
be
son.
be
All right.
present, right? Whether it's with our
But
kids, our colleagues, our friends, you know, like you said, put the phone down, put that email down. It takes time be to just be in that space with that person. It's life changing in my own experience. Letting go of
Mine too.
strengths,
Mine too.
just being in the moment. I love.
Yes, I want you to send me that meditation too. And also, just so anyone knows, being outside and feeling like just feeling grass on your feet, or feeling pebbles, or feeling like the sound of the wind, that can put you in the moment like none other. So anyways, but I want to hear your meditation, and I'm gonna mute or leave. I actually don't know how to leave, but I'll figure it out.
You can just close the window and it'll leave for you. That's the easiest way I've found.
Okay.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Thanks, Joni. Yes. Well,
Ciao.
and this
Ciao.
present, so I don't remember, was it Friday? Today is the 14th, so 13th, 12th, 11th. So Sunday was the 13th, Saturday was the 12th, Friday was the 11th. I think it was Wednesday. Anyway, one day this week, our world shook. One of the sleeping fault lines awoke, and we had a 6-point earthquake. And it put my wife into utter panic. And like she was hyperventilating and everything. And like, so she wasn't in the present, she was still in the middle of this quake. So one simple exercise that I did with her, I said, okay, tell me 5 things you can see right now. Look around you. What are 5 things you can see? So she starts listing them off. I said, okay, now 4 things you can hear. She lists those off. I'm like, 3 things you can smell. List those off. 2 things you can taste or feel. You can use any sense, but I do this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It helps pull you back, even in the midst of a panic, back to right now. Like, okay, what do we do now? And, I love the book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. If you haven't read it or any of his quotes, he posts on, he has videos on TikTok. Definitely, if you're not operating in the now, check it out, because there's a great power of just being present, being with your loved ones in that moment, whatever that looks like, your colleagues, your coworkers, your subordinates, whatever. Zarar, Al, Joni, Aliana, Brenda Lees, everybody watching from the listening lounge, I appreciate you being present with us today and sharing this time. Any closing words, Al?
Yeah, I believe what you say is true, because being authentic and being yourself is so important, in our lives. Because if you can tell a lie to somebody, the lie will also hit back at you. It's like a karma. So eventually it goes round and come back to you. It's like a boomerang. You just throw like the Australian boomerang. You say something bad, and then it just come back to you, in the end. So it's be authentic, always have positivity in our own self, and continue to live the living that you wish for and desire. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. And Zarar, your closing words?
Sean, one of the um, worst suffering we what I noticed, like we humans, we suffer all our life is first uh, the memories. I mean the memories and then imagine, then reminding them again and again something that may exist like long back, may had existed, but we suffered all our life just thinking about that imagining and memories. And we humans are very strange. We are stuck in that. Why we? Because sometimes we make those stories as our power. But beautiful. The now is all there is, and past has no power over the present moment. The uh, and the book you recommended, I will definitely like. There are many more uh, good friends who, the present of now, they recommended me this book, and I'm going to definitely um, read more about this book. Thank you, Sean. It was
Thank
amazing.
you, Zarar. I'd like to close with my one of my favorite, I don't know if it's a poem or quote, and that is, well, actually before that, as you were saying, a lot of times we are suffering because we're stuck in the past, we're reliving past memories, or we're worrying about the future. My mentor says pain is part of life, right? You're going to have pain. He says suffering is a choice we make. And with that, my closing quote is, yesterday is history, tomorrow is still a mystery. Today is a gift, and that's why we call it the present. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Have a great week. Bye bye.